Well, in this video I'm going to be talking about the new game from Grail Games, Reiner Knizia's King's Road. Now, King's Road originally was published by GMT as part of a kind of 3-in-1 games bundle of Rome, which included Imperium, Circus Maximus and Hannibal vs Rome. I believe that was brought out in 2001. For Grail Games, though, they've taken Imperium and re-implemented it as the fantasy King's Road. So it's got a slightly different layout with some lovely artwork, of course. And it's a game board, 55 cards and 100 influence markers. And I forget, 2 to 5 players, there you go. And it's quite a quick, fun, simple little game. So let's get the box open and have a look inside. So popping open the box, we've got a lovely piece of artwork here with the rule book. Unfortunately, no summary sheet on the back page, a little bit of a miss there. Then we've got the board, which it looks quite large. We've then got a whole load of tokens, including some baggies, and then of course the cards, which I'm planning on sleeving. So let's get the cards open. Well, as you can see, each player gets their own deck, so green, grey or black, blue, red and yellow. So let's have a look at the red cards. In theory, all the decks are the same. So you've got Area 1, Zinkai's Deep, Area 2, the Dragon's Lair, Area 3, the Temple Ruins, Area 4, the Savage Hills, Area 5, the Dark Tower, Area 6, the Wizard's Tower, Area 7, the King's Altar, and then finally Area 8, the King's Castle. You've then got some characters which sadly are not actually named. Now, if I remember correctly, it's I think the Knight, the Dragon, and the Seer, or the Wizard, or the Witch, or something. And these give you some special abilities. I would have to double check the rulebook. I think this is move forward an area or place an extra marker. I think this is score 2 areas, and I forget what that does. I think it allows you to see what the other player's doing, but I'm going to have a read a rule book of the rule book to remind myself what these do, and that's where a little summary sheet on the back would maybe be quite nice, just to remind you what each thing does. And also, you know, a shame they didn't put the name there, but having said that, it does allow you to see this lovely artwork. And of course the artwork on the board. Now, if I remember correctly, the numbers underneath the area is actually giving you a reminder of the scoring for each area, and obviously it's a game where you're trying to score as many points as possible to get the most victory points. As you can see here, I've set out the board, so the King's going to start in Area 1, move to Area 2, then Area 3, and kind of basically move around. Just to clarify these cards here then, so the Knight, as it says here, +1, so you would add your influence token. So as the yellow player, you would add an additional token to the area. It's got to be the final card you play in the round, and you do actually get this. I guess this is what the symbol is here, saying return it to your hand. The Dragon will score multiple areas, and these can stack. So if 2 players play 2 dragons, you will actually score the current area plus 2 extra areas. So if we were to play on Area 1, you get Area 1, Area 2 and Area 3, and as you can see, once played it is discarded. Similarly with the Seer or the Witch, this can be played, and once you play it, it allows you to react to what the other player has done or other players have done. So yeah, you get to play your hand to react to the situation on the board. So basically these cards here, you know, if I was to play Area 1, I would place a token on Area 1. I could then maybe choose to play Area 4 to place another token, and then maybe I would use my Knight to place another token on, you know, one of the other areas I've already played. So that would be Area 4 here. So Area 1, Area 4 plus the Knight would put a token on Area 1 and 2 tokens on Area 4. So there you go, that is basically the game. It's pretty simple, pretty lightweight. You place your tokens, and then you're going to score the regions, and obviously player with the most points wins. Now, if there's ties, then you all get the lowest points, which could be pretty rubbish in this area. But then again, you're only scoring 1 point for coming first anyway, so maybe that's not such a big deal. Anyway, once you've scored an area, you actually leave one of your nobles, these little markers here, in place to say you sort of control that area. And my recollection is, as the various areas connect to each other, you will score more points. So, that's pretty much it. Now, there is a variant in this version of the game, which is different from Imperium, whereby you can't remove nobles, because you can go round and potentially you can kick nobles off controlling an area, but there is a variant to say, no, if you've got control in an area, you keep that control, but the other player puts their piece on top of yours. That's slightly weird variant there. And basically, if one player has got more than 40 points, you will have a final scoring phase and highest point wins. So that's pretty interesting. I believe there are a couple of little wrinkles in the rulebook talking about how that works. And that's pretty much it. As I say, a really simple game. The rules, let's have a look. So you've got one page for the contents. So you've got your contents page. You've got the setting up the game, what you're meant to be doing, how to play it, pick your cards, reveal your cards, put guys on, then the details of the special rules, how to score, how to deal with ties, what to do about your nobles. Then it talks about the king travelling, game ending, and then there's this new variant for this particular version of the game. Now, Imperium was fairly well regarded as a fun little game. Obviously, the production quality was okay, but this version has much nicer quality parts. I'm not 100% convinced by the king, but he's not bad. I do quite like these little screen printed nobles. So as you can see, you've got a little raven symbol for the grey guy, and then the green guys, they've got a kind of stag logo, which is quite nice. So and the paint on these wooden pieces, it's a nice quality paint, seems to have covered it quite well. Obviously the green does stand out against the rest of the board quite nicely, doesn't blend in, so that's good. As I say, the only weak piece in the set, in my opinion, is the king, but it stands out. It's a nice, big, obvious piece, so it fits the purpose for what it's for very, very well. Because the game's quite simple, I don't think I'm going to bother playing an example game against myself, but it gives you an idea of how it lays out. It doesn't have a huge amount of table space, so it can be played on a fairly small area. And the production quality is very, very nice, and it's great that you've got a whole load of baggies, so you can bag up each individual set of cards potentially. I'm going to have to check that out. And yeah, fun, simple game, fairly easy to explain the basics. I think it's the scoring and the strategy is where the game comes alive, because you could deliberately go to section 8 even when your king's at 1, because you're playing the long game, because you want to get the big points from section 8, or you can choose to come to these lower scoring areas and score while you can. And as I say, I do know in the original Imperium there was a thing with chaining your nobles together to increase your score, and I haven't fully read the rulebook yet, because this literally arrived today while I was out, and I came home and this is like 5 minutes after I've got in. I'm filming this and just giving you a quick look at the game. Production quality, really, really good. The map, I believe, is only single-sided, yes, so only single-sided on that, I'm afraid, but it packs up to a nice, small, compact little size, playing card for reference. There you go. So, great little fun game. Looking forward to getting this on the table, trying it out. I've found some of Mr. Reiner Knizia's games a bit and hit and miss for me. Some of my favourite games are his, but some of his others not gone down so well. For example, Grail Games Medici. I really like the production. I like the idea of the game. Sadly, it just didn't really go down well with my playing group. So it'd be interesting to see what they make of this. It might be a little bit themeless for them, and I think this is the problem I have with some Knizia games, is sometimes the theme isn't quite there. But this game looks great, fairly simple to play. I probably could play it with my family, and hopefully my friends would also enjoy it as well. If you're wanting to pimp the game, maybe replace this with a miniature. I am going to look into that, maybe a nice little 28mm plastic miniature, or 3D print something, because whilst this piece there's nothing really wrong with it, I'm sure you could tart it up a bit and make it a little bit sexier. And these look like playing cards rather than Euro cards, so I'm going to have to check what size sleeves for these, but I'm thinking these are regular playing cards by a quick check of them. Anyway, quick video, all done. Hope you enjoyed it.